Harry, just join me quickly and have a look through the window of this Volvo. We're facing a £250,000 issue within the business. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab Craig. We're going to talk around some of our stock because we've got a big problem in the business. It's not all sunshine and nice sunny days. There's a lot of shit we have to deal with in the motor trade, and we're going to delve into it.
The winner is Cartwright!
So I grabbed Craig, and I just want to elaborate the issue we've got at the moment. So there's about £250,000 worth of stock tied up with issues that we can't get through the workshop properly, we can't clean, ultimately we can't advertise, and we can't sell it. Craig's going to do a bit of a walk round of the stock outside that we've got on site, let alone all the cars that are off site at the moment, just detailing some of the issues with the cars.
Yes, fine, so I get the fun bit. Yeah. All right, yeah, let's have a look. I guess, yeah, so we do get issues in the motor trade. It's not all steaks and Lamborghinis, is it, as we said earlier. So we've got this lovely 69 plate Nissan Qashqai, X-Trail even. I think this is the second one we've had in the last 6 months. They seem to have an inherent problem with their gearboxes. So car drives fine, like when it's cold, I guess, but then after a little bit, the revs start building up and the car goes nowhere. So the short and long of it is, the fix is it needs a gearbox rebuild. So that's probably going to cost us circa £2,500–3,000. We've got no choice because we won't sell these cars unless they're right. So these are some of the sort of issues that we face sometimes. Once we bought the cars, we can't do much about it. We've got to fix them. So that car's probably in the high teens. We'd retail it for, I would suggest. So that's a nice chunk of money. The Volvo, yes, this one at the minute has intermittent light comes up on the dash saying something about the four-wheel drive system, which turns out that the module that controls the transfer box is faulty. It can't be repaired. We've sent it off to be repaired. It can't be repaired. The only answer is you have to buy them from the dealer because nowhere else sells them. You can't buy second-hand ones apparently because they're coded. So I've got to buy one from Volvo at the cost of £1,100 plus the VAT, and then it's probably a couple hours labour to have it coded. So that's nice.
You've just had a big conversation with me about dealer-only parts, haven't you, as well?
Well, yeah, I think that's the barrel we're staring down at the minute, because the thing is, with all these modern cars now, there's so many electrical bits on them, and some of the aftermarket parts you can get, they might be half the price, but you end up doing it 2 or 3 times or reverting back to a dealer one anyway, so it's just a real problem. But another sad one, like at first glance, the car drives fine, but after a period of time, the warning light comes on, and again, what can you do? We can't hide it or retail it like that. We won't do that, so we have to fix it. But, the common misconception is that we earn loads of money out of these cars, and sometimes we have £3,000 or £4,000 across them. We might do it at the start, but no one sees the internal bills, and sometimes these internal bills outweigh the profit margins. That's why we need to keep margins, because at the end of the day, if you're doing it right, you've got to put your hand in your pocket. I'm doing it a little bit more frequently than I'd like to at the minute, but there you go. That's what we signed up for. I think the S2000's Tom's, we won't go into that. The Skoda is okay, that's just generic prep, but the bill on that's probably going to be close to £1,000. Nothing nasty wrong with that, it's just our standards dictate that needs things doing that, people wouldn't always do, but for it to go out in the right way, the bill on that's probably close to £1,000. The Astra is a problem. That's got an unknown problem that no one can delve into at the minute. We think it's associated to the clutch and the flywheel, which is lovely actually, because being a Vauxhall Astra, sensible, cheap car, well, the flywheel's not.
It's so expensive.
It's about £1,500.
It's ridiculous.
Just for the flywheel. So that's nice. Yeah.
Potentially engine as well.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. It's just got a weird vibration, but it feels like it might be clutch related. And like I said, the flywheel is only available from the dealer. You can't even get OE replacement parts through third-party parts suppliers. It's dealer only. So that's nice. That's a really nice thing to contend with.
So expensive.
Yeah. 107's Tim's little tow car. That's Tim's Transporter. The DS. Yes, we bought that. Car drives lovely. Really nice car. Really nice condition. Nice toys on it. Sunroof doesn't open properly. So that's cool, because they're always cheap. Not. There's several £1,000s, I think, from the dealer, because you can only buy. You have to buy it all. So you have to buy like the modules, the motors, the mechanism, the glass. It's thousands. We found one online that's about £350 plus carriage. So we've organised a courier to go up and get it. So hopefully, taking 2 sunroofs, we'd be able to make one good one. So we might be able to shave a bit off there because yeah, the bill from the dealer's huge for that. That's the problem with a lot of these modern cars. Is that it's either to do with the electrical side of things, or sometimes just parts. You can only get them from the dealer. They lock, like the modules on the Volvos are locked, and a lot of the Mercedes stuff is locked. So you can only go to the dealer, which is a nightmare. Tom C63, he's got a problem that only Tom can figure out. I think that one's just going through the workshop at the minute, so we'll see what's wrong with that one. The Jaguar's just turned up, so that hasn't been through checks at the minute. We've just had the wheels and that done on that car.
Is it Ingenium?
Probably. I don't think it's the 2.2.
I can't see a badge on the back describing what it is.
Yeah, it's got something in it. What does it say? Oh, it was the wheel bolts, wasn't
wheel
it?
Bolts, yeah,
so they didn't have the lock and wheel nuts. So it's not a big either, but the supplier didn't give us a lock and wheel nut, so we've had to have the lock and wheel nuts removed.
Broken off.
Sportage. The Sportage, I think that's just been through the workshop. Actually, that's new. That's new.
I mean, it's still in a warranty. So
Yeah, I don't recognise that car. I don't think there's an issue with that car.
You'd hope not.
They don't all have issues. They don't all have issues. We sell like 70 cars. Some of them do. It just seems at the minute we've got some that are worse than others.
Clear.
The Clio is no issues that I know of with that one. That I've got a feeling that's been through the workshop. I don't think there's any nasties with that at all. Another Skoda. Is this a Kodiaq or a Karoq? I always get confused. This is a Karoq, I think, the smaller one. That's just generic. I think it's just come back from paint, just had the wheels done. There's nothing nasty with that car. The C4's just come back from paint. I don't think there's anything nasty with that one. See, you don't all have big problems.
The armrests aren't the same
not
colour
all of them.
on that
Oh, the Grandland.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a sod. So that had EML come on, again related to emission system. Came up with a code to do with the DPF. So pressure sensor's fine. Static regen wouldn't work, which is where you put on a diagnostic and you can blow the DPF out and reset the parameters. Wouldn't work, so we had to actually physically remove that DPF and put it on our specialist cleaning machine. So it's just a labour-intensive job, just really frustrating. But yeah, not the end of the world. Nothing catastrophic with any of these cars at the minute, I don't think. Well, maybe the Astra, but
Maybe the Astra.
actually, and the gearbox on the X-Trail, that's not fun, is it? No. It's not fun.
Fiesta, that was saved.
Oh, so the Fiesta, luckily, yeah, we saved. Typical wet belt.
Wet belt had shredded itself and
It started to break down. Yeah, so it was starting to block the oil pickups.
Yeah.
But fortunately, yeah, Tony, the new tech we've got, is X4 Master Tech, very aware of those cars and those problems. So no damage was done. It did need a new wet belt, and it had starved the oil, the turbo of oil. So we had to replace the turbo on that as well. So yeah, Fiesta, they haven't ever got thousands in them. That's probably a £1,500 bill.
I was sat on the side of the M4 in about 3 degrees, I think it was.
Yeah, that's nice as well, isn't it? Yeah, that's nice. M5 sold. The Jag.
Oh, F-Pace.
Yeah, the Jag. So yeah, again, like another 20-something £1,000 car again that's parked at the minute. But
what's wrong with that?
Turbo.
Turbo's
off being rebuilt. I think it's at Turbo Dynamics at the minute. Like I say, you can't cut corners with these things, especially the Prestige stuff. But it's done 80,000 miles, so you could sensibly say like a turbo's lasted 80,000 miles. That's
that
okay.
Doesn't seem unreasonable, does it?
But no. But again, like it's with buying these cars, people don't declare it, so we don't buy them knowing that we've got to spend £1,000 on a turbo. It's not priced like that, like you say. So it's just things that catch us out post-purchase. But otherwise, a really, really nice car. It's a stunning car, that. Really, really nice.
Velar?
The Velar is actually a customer's car. So
did we get to the bottom on EGR?
I think so. Tony's just had a look at it now, I think. Tony, did we EGR any good on the Land Rover?
EGR valve, EGR cooler.
Happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Brilliant.
No road on. Just needs a longer road test just to confirm that the fault's not going to come back.
Take it home tonight and go back to a manual.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice one. Thanks, Tony.
Happy days.
Yes, that was the Land Rover. So you have got to buy these cars with a margin in them. You absolutely have. The Ingeniums are notorious for throwing up issues, but you know, 9 times out of 10 with these cars, the diesel stuff, is always to do with emissions, EGRs and DPF. So yeah,
AdBlue, Peugeot,
AdBlue, yeah.
all the time.
Short and long of it is, we sold that car to a customer. The engine light came on the next day. We actually sold it on test drive. It was on. We said we thought it might be voltage related, battery related. So the customer's happy to take the car. Brought it back the next day, said it's on. And it's short and long of it is, it's been 2 weeks since we've been able to get to the bottom of it, because when we plug it into the diagnostic, it doesn't show that anything's failed. It shows that it's unhappy with a reading between 2 sensors on separate sides of the engine, which is great, because it means you have to manually trace all that, which in turn costs money. But we've had a software update done by Land Rover to make sure the software was right, because
it looked like it fixed it, didn't it?
It looked like it fixed it, because it did 200 miles and it was fine,
Yeah.
but the light come back on when Tom was on the way into work. But yeah, first we found a VVT solenoid was faulty, so we replaced that, but because it's a superseded part, the engine software had to be updated, so I had to go to Land Rover to get the software updated. Light came on after 200 miles. We replaced the map sensor, because that's what was throwing up an irregular reading, but it wasn't. It turns out that the sensor was at fault. It's because one of the readings it was taking it wasn't happy with. Anyway, short and long of it is EGR and EGR cooler. So that's another circa £1,000+ that we've spent on a car that, again, we didn't accommodate for in the purchase of it. That's just the roll of the dice with car sales. Yeah, so
Have you got the A1? I don't think anyone wants to talk about that one.
A1 is, yeah, short and long of it, that was...
That had a new engine.
That, yeah, it's basically had a new engine, new injectors, new
issues,
clutch.
Just, it was a nightmare, that car. Jeep.
Yeah.
Is that Emma's Dacia as well? No, Emma collected hers,
That's
I guess.
Emma's.
Is it Emma's, yeah?
Yes, it is, because I think we're waiting for a door seal. But yeah,
there's no seats in it.
yeah, that's right. So we're tracing a water leak on that. Water leaks are always fun. Yeah, because they're really obvious.
She's been amazing. Like probably the best of customers.
Oh,
you can have.
you couldn't ask for a better customer. But it
Harry
always
just,
happens to the best customers, doesn't it? This car's been back like 3 or 4 times
It's
now.
always the nice ones that you get a real headache with. So
Yeah. We found it though. Dan's found the water leak. I think he's just waiting for parts. It was actually coming in, once we stripped the interior, he could see where the water was running in from. But these water leaks, yeah, they're just a nightmare. But she's been back 3 or 4 times with this. So we've said to her we're going to pay for her next service as a thank you, because she's been so nice to us and not thrown things at us or screamed at us.
she hasn't shouted once.
She hasn't used any abusive language. Really, really nice lady. Yeah, the Jeep, that's back at the minute because the screen goes off by itself at random points. No pattern to it, which again is fun because it takes hours and hours to find. There's no fix for these. No shortcut fix. Software doesn't do it. You can't send the screen off on this year and above because the technology inside is too new, or the screen repair experts can't find out what it is. They suggest it's some sort of issue between the software and the power module inside the screen. Something technical that I don't appreciate or understand. All I appreciate and understand is that Jeep want £3,500 to fix the screen, I think.
It's expensive.
So that's fun. We certainly didn't have £3,500 in it when we sold it.
No.
But hey ho, like you say,
Nor when you bought it.
that's the dice you roll sometimes. But you know, we have to do things right. We choose to do things right. So it costs us money to do things right. Don't get me wrong. When none of us are going hungry, but we're certainly not having weekend breaks in Marbella and driving Lamborghinis and eating steak 3 times a day, because we're not those kind of people, I guess. It costs us money to do it right.
What else we got? E-Class off-site.
E-Class offsite.
Parts were a headache for that.
That was a
took
weird one. Yeah,
months.
parts were a nightmare for that.
Back order, no answer.
But it's done now.
Done.
But that used to just jam itself in park.
Yeah.
Like under 10 miles an
It's
hour
like a
would just jam
rollaway
itself in
issue.
park.
It thought like the door was open or the key was, I don't know, it would engage the handbrake, wouldn't it, really, in a sense?
Yeah, so it put the gearbox in park. It would just put the gearbox in park. It's a safety feature apparently, but it's a common thing with those E-classes, 2012, that sort of era, was the ignition module loses signal or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that as well. Again, probably at the cost of, because Mercedes only parts, Mercedes you need a special key to code it, which you have to get. That's probably £1,000+, but you couldn't foresee that. I actually took that in part exchange from a customer, big Mercedes fan. He's got some old Mercedes in garages and stuff, like real low mile stuff. Full Mercedes and specialist service history, 2 owners on a 12-plate Merc, done 90,000 miles. Car's super clean. You just can't foresee these things. Like I say, that's the dice that we roll.
F-Pace is the other one I got at the moment I'm dealing with.
Oh, the EV
Got
one.
a charging issue with the battery.
Yeah, Jaguar can look at it in July.
July is what Cribs Causeway have said we can get the booking for, which is great,
so
because
that's
it's still
nice.
February, so that's kind of them. They don't even want to look at it, and that's the headache. What do I say to the customer? Sorry, Mr. Customer, the dealer don't want it back to
Well,
fix
good news,
it.
we've got a
So,
booking
I got a booking
in
anyway.
6
I
months.
squashed it out, yeah.
No
I got a
problem.
booking local to us in Swindon at a much sensibler time frame, so the customer's happy at the moment, but yeah, it's just, what's the point?
It's just things you've got to contend with, isn't it? What can you do about it? It is what it is, isn't it?
And
You
no
can't.
one else will touch it,
we
because
just-
it's hybrid, it's one of those, so
It's
customer's
nice to-
happy, but...
Yeah, but it's nice to talk
That's
about
the
these
main
things,
thing.
isn't it? Because that's the reality of the motor trade, isn't it?
The majority of
that
our
is what
stress
it
is
is.
this, I guess.
And it takes a lot of time, doesn't it? Not only are we buying parts and spending money in the workshops and stuff, but the amount of time we're spending on the phone to keep the customer sweet, hunt for fixes and liaise
Lost
between
lost
warranty
money on both
companies
ends,
and
isn't it?
yeah, oh
It's
yeah.
like financially you notice it, but in terms of our time across the business, it's wasted doing that.
It's tens
you
of
know, so
hours.
we
Yeah,
can't-
it's tens of
we
hours, and then
can't-
we've got, as the start of the video says, we've probably got £250,000 worth of cars parked, waiting for these ridiculous fixes that we don't know about at point of purchase that just creep up on you, and you have to deal with. But listen, it's not all rain clouds, is it? We got 70 cars that we've got advertised. They're all healthy and happy. We're selling cars hand over fist at the minute. So yeah, it's just nature of the beast. But unfortunately, at the minute, they're just building up a little bit.
We've
so
had a run at the minute.
yeah, we've
more
just had
so
a-
than ever.
we've had a bit of bad luck. But you know, it is what it is.
That's the nitty gritty.
That's what we signed up for. That is the nitty gritty. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I don't think there's much more. I could go on all day, but I won't for the sake of the viewers. I think, and Harry.
If they're still around. Kill
Well, yeah, thank you. I
themselves.
think that's it from me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the harsh reality of the motor trade.
That's the motor trade. We're all millionaires, obviously.
Right, so we've had an exciting development within the business. Just following on from that video, actually. Today's the 1st, so a couple of days on. I was just editing the video, ready to post it on YouTube. Jonas has come up to me and said, would you like to find out the total bill on the Audi? And I thought, following on the conversation we've just had, hit me. So, we promised a customer a vehicle. The customer's bought the vehicle. We told them we'd put it right for him. And if any other questions are awards or validity of a business, this reinforces the job we do. Now, logically and logistically, it's probably not the best way to run a business, but I can go home and sleep well at night knowing we've done the best thing and the right thing for the customer. Probably not for the business, but for the customer, yes. Let's dive into it, because it would have been more financially beneficial for us as a business to have just bought the car, drove it to the Bourneville estate in Weston, where I've had many of a very rough football game, and just set fire to the car. So we sold the car for 7,995. We obviously didn't buy it for that, but let's just dive into the bill. Fit thermostat, fit 3 injectors, fuel filters, bushes, air filters, expensive bits. Fit turbocharger, clean out intercooler and turbo pipes, fit new engine, obviously remove old engine, can't have both. Fit three-piece clutch and flywheel, fit timing belt and water pump on the new engine, replace all Lucas injectors with Continental injectors. That was a lot of the time investigating the issues was Lucas injectors, so I think we're just going to jump straight to proper Contis or more genuine parts, not OEM approved rubbish, because the Lucas injectors were a load of bollocks and they shafted us. Thermostat, load of antifreeze, obviously a load of oil, injector seal, stretch bolts, for fuel filter, air filter, washers, bolts, seal rings. Oh my god, the list goes on. Pipes, gearbox oil. Let's get to the crux of it, the magic number. I almost feel a bit sick, actually, to be honest. The injectors themselves were 310 quid each. Total invoice, £6,600. £2.95. So we made a hearted promise to the customer, and to be fair to the customer, they bought this vehicle Let's go, because it's obviously still not sold out of the system, I'll be able to tell you exactly. So Simon bought the vehicle, bless him. Surely not. Yeah. He bought it on Christmas Eve. Yeah, we're going that far back. So we bought it on the 23rd of December. We're now the 1st of March. Jack took the Audi A1 home last night just to give it a proper run to make sure it's all good. So we're going to be looking to deliver that car back down to Simon down in Devon. Yes, so I don't really I just don't even know what to say, to be honest, anymore, but we've done the job right. The customer's going to get a fully working car. I mean, he's got a bill of £6,500 plus to go with an £8,000 car. So the customer, albeit he's had to wait for a long while, he's got a lot of value in a vehicle, and I'd just like to thank him for his patience in dealing with us this whole time, because it's been an absolute nightmare from start to finish. We got there in the end, but this is what it takes sometimes to run an award-winning business that really does put our customer care and our customers first.